Beautiful morning. So my inbox blew up, my text messages blew up over this what I posted yesterday. So I am just going to make a shorter video because the live was 2 hours and 47 minutes. So I'm just going to go to the timestamp. Turn it up. And then timestamp, and then after I play this clip, I will review it.
You're gonna tell me everything. Stephanie, just the person I needed to talk to. Okay, so Stephanie, there was an incident. So there's a woman. You might recall me mentioning her, Stephanie. I told you that she was having marital issues. Her husband was cheating on her, and so she started cheating on her husband with like a 25-year-old and then a 19-year-old, and then she was over by the dumpsters with 13 and 15-year-olds. The woman's like 40, maybe 50 years old, 40, 50 years. She's an older woman. I don't know if you recall me telling you that story. I mentioned it a few times on YouTube. So anyway, I called the woman out because it was inappropriate. So there's been a little girl for about 6 months. I did not know that this was her kid. I had no idea. So the little girl, I'd be like going to the mailbox or taking out my trash. So this little girl would come and she'd walk up to me and she goes, "Are you going to hurt me?" And I would like do a double take and I would keep walking. You know, I'd walk away. I'm like, what? So she kept doing it. So I figured she's autistic, that she's special needs. So I just figured she was, special needs. So every time I would see her, she'd be on a scooter and she'd go fast to catch up with me to say that, or she'd be on a bike and she'd go real fast to catch up with me and say this. The kid's like 10 years old. I just figured, she's special needs, because I don't know who she is. And she just repeats the same things. So tonight, her mother told her to go up to my camera. Her mother was standing right next to her. Her mother told her to go up to my window where the camera is, stick up her middle finger and say profanity. Her mother runs a kids club on the property where they give food to kids that are hungry, that are less fortunate. So what I'm thinking is she probably told her kid to walk up to everybody and say, "Don't hurt me." She's probably having her kid do all sorts of weird stuff. She shouldn't be around kids. So, Stephanie, the reason why I'm asking you about this is because I know that you've worked for CPS before. Like, this sounds dangerous to me. So anyway, so I reported her and there's disciplinary action being taken tomorrow. But I'm just nervous because she, if she's running a kids club around less fortunate children, I'm just worried that her predatory behavior, because if she's having her own kid do that, I'm scared of what she'll. Yeah, Susan, didn't you work at the school? So you know all about mandated reporters and what's okay and what's not. So I have all of this on film, because she went up to my camera to do this. It's very weird. Like, this is where my mind is going. So there's another incident that happened. So around the time when I confronted that 40, 50-year-old woman for hanging out with the 13-year-olds and 15-year-old boys, so I didn't see her having intercourse with the boys, but it was nighttime and she was behind the dumpster with the little boys. I went to go throw my trash away and I heard noises and I looked, I said, "Oh, excuse me." And then I looked again and she was back there with the boys. So I confronted her about it. I was like, "Hey, that's inappropriate. That's sick." So one of the other guys in the neighborhood confronted her about this. And you know what she did? She called the police and had one of the little boys lie and say the guy pulled out his penis. So she called because the guy confronted her and said, "Hey, what you're doing is inappropriate." She literally called the cops and said that the guy who confronted her about what she was doing exposed himself to try to get the man arrested. Thank God the man didn't get arrested and nothing came of that. But it just makes me nervous that a woman like that is running a kids club and she's like having her own child walk around asking people, are you going to hurt me? Are you going to hurt me? Like literally on scooters, on bicycles, and on foot, chasing after people, asking if they're going to hurt her. And then having her go up to people's cameras to do the middle finger and scream profanity. That's dangerous. And again, I've got the footage. So I've already reported her, but I think it's time to, take it a step further so that nobody's victimized. Exactly, Susan. This lady is out of control. It was just very, very concerning. Also, I do readings for police officers as well. And, I'm going to contact one of them. I do readings for a few HPD officers and a few New York. Like, I would feel really, really bad if like something bad happened to one of the unfortunate children that she's feeding. Who's to say she's not putting poison in the food? Like, she's got Munchausen's by proxy. It's just scary. Stephanie, I'll send you the footage of what happened with that girl, with the little girl and the mom standing right there and the mom like telling her to do it. I'm going to report her. I have her license plate number. I have her house number. I have her name. I have to report her. She's dangerous. Hey, Anna, how are you?
Okay, so that was the video from last night from my live. So this is what's going on. As I mentioned in the video that I just played. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm Jamie Zebra 23. So where I live, when I first moved over here, the place was a little bit, better quality. And as time went on, the place got a little bit more different. When I say different, I don't mean, I'm not referencing race. I'm referencing like, sometimes a neighborhood can be good, but then it starts turning a little bad. So the neighborhood started turning like a little bit bad. As you guys know, you've been watching, I've been on YouTube for 10 years. So as you guys know, I'm an introvert. For those of you that are not new, I'm an introvert. I keep my circle small. I mind my business. I do my own thing. I keep it private that I have my YouTube channel. This is not something I advertise. Like I'm a private person. So as the 6 months of the girl, the girl would do this maybe once, twice a week for 6 months. Just imagine you're taking out your trash and then a little person walks up to you and goes, "Are you going to hurt me? Are you going to hurt me?" It's shocking. I am a person that's on the go, and where I live, there are many people that don't watch their children. It's 2025. Everybody's parenting style is different, and I'm not knocking anybody. But I did think it was strange because I am a mom of a special needs child. So I did find it strange that, that somebody was like letting their small child out at the time I thought was special needs, because every time she would see me, she'd chase me down to repeat the same phrases. "Are you going to hurt me? Are you going to hurt me?" I am not on camera right now, but most people have seen what I look like. I literally look like a walking Barbie doll, something out of a fairy tale cartoon. So most people that approach me, they don't approach with, "Are you gonna hurt me?" They usually want to hug me. So, so that was off-putting in itself. But since I've been living over here, the past 2 years, I've been confronted a few times where people say, "Hey, you seem a little stuck up. How come you don't ever hang out? How come you don't talk?" first things first, where I live, most of the people do not speak English, and there's nothing wrong with that. I am not bilingual. Yes, I know a lot of Spanish, but I'm not bilingual. I'm just not. So that's why I don't really socialize that much, because I don't speak the language that they speak. And secondly, I am an introvert. People have many people, not all, but many people have an issue with people who are introverted. You know, I am an introvert. I have been married and divorced. I'm not interested in dating currently, and I guess that's also an issue. I guess I have to, supposedly I have to date, or it's weird because I'm not male centered. I am a straight woman. I love men, but I mean, that's not here nor there. So, you know, I'm career focused. I'm not, you know, man centered. I'm career focused. I'm career centered. I'm raising my family centered. You know, I have a very good co-parenting relationship with my ex. You know, we have lunch, we have dinner 3 days a week. Everything goes great. Life is good. So the reason why I just gave you guys the backstory on me is, and the area that I live in, is because there's financial differences between me and where I live. Like I said, when I first moved here, it was a different economical crowd. The economical crowd has now changed. Since the time I moved here and right now, I've gotten economically way better. Whereas a lot of people have moved out, and the people that have moved in are not doing so well economically. Of course, I cannot speak for everyone, but it's a different economic crowd, and there's nothing wrong with that. As most of you know, I grew up dirt poor. I've had to fight for everything that I have. So I'm not in any way knocking anyone, because you can be up today and down tomorrow real quick. I'm very much aware of that. So the reason why I'm mentioning all of that is I don't know that girl's mother, other than me calling her out for her inappropriate behaviors, right? I do know that woman, she watches my YouTube channel. And I do know she, you know, I don't know if she's envious. I don't know what her problem is. Other than me calling her out for being, because in my opinion, I think it's inappropriate for a grown adult woman to be alone with 13 to 15-year-old boys at night behind a dumpster. Maybe other people do not agree that that's inappropriate. I think that that's inappropriate. I would think it was inappropriate if there was a woman that is not related directly to those children, to those little boys, even going to the park alone with those boys. To me, that's inappropriate. Maybe other people find no issue with that. I think that that's inappropriate. If a grown man, if let's say the shoe was on the other foot, if it was a 40 or 50-year-old man behind a dumpster with 13 to 15-year-old girls, would you guys think that that was appropriate? No, you would not. It was kind of an eye-opener to me, because, you know, we'll hear the stories in the news, like of the teachers, like, oh, you know, pregnant by a 13-year-old boy, or, you know, and that's appalling and disgusting and shocking. So we think that that's like, oh, you know, that's like 1 in a million. Nobody would ever do it. I guess when I first discussed the incident with that woman and the dumpster and the kids, the little boys, I think it was like a year ago, maybe. I can't recall the exact date, but I discussed it right here on YouTube a few times. So maybe some of you recall me mentioning that. So this is like an add-on to that story, because now come to find out, the poor little girl is learning the negativity from the mother. If that's how the mother behaves, no wonder that little girl is chasing people down, asking if they're going to hurt her. Maybe the poor little girl has been hurt, and that's why she keeps saying it. You know, maybe she was hurt. Maybe somebody did hurt her, so now she's like afraid that people are going to hurt her. It's also quite bizarre. But I did report her to the management as soon as it happened. I also sent the video. Management says that they're going to contact the mother and talk to her about this. The thing that concerns me the most is that same woman. I've never been a part of the kids club, but from what I understand, what the kids club does is, I guess the woman has an apartment and she allows neighborhood children into the apartment so she can feed them. I guess that's the kids club. So as I mentioned when I was replaying the live, Stephanie, who worked for CPS for years and years and years, now that she's finished school, she's a licensed therapist, and that's what she's doing now, where she works with children. So Stephanie told me that, yes, that's inappropriate and she does need to be reported. Susan, a school teacher that was on the live that I do readings for, she also said, yes, Jamie, that is inappropriate. That needs to be reported. The HPD and the New York State police officers that I do readings for also said, this is inappropriate. Now that you have this information and you've mentioned it, Jamie, you are now a mandated reporter, because if anything should happen, you have to report this to the proper authorities. You have to. So that is what I will do. This, maybe in your own lives, you guys might see some suspicious things and you might be like, it's whatever. It's no big deal. Or, maybe I'm misconstruing it, because that's what I was doing. I was like, I tried to at first try to reason why a grown adult woman was, when I say behind the dumpster, so we can walk up to the dumpster and throw our trash away. I have a dumpster that's closer to where I live, but I purposely don't use that dumpster anymore because it grosses me out because of that incident. What drew my attention to when I was throwing the trash away is I heard noises, and I kind of like stepped off to the side, and you could see them kind of like on the back side, but like towards the corner of it. So they weren't like completely behind the dumpster, but they were like, some of them were, some of them weren't, right? But why? The dumpster is disgusting, dirty, and filthy. First things first, why would you conversate over by a dumpster? That's disgusting. Like, who hangs out by a dumpster? That's, just the fumes alone could get you sick. Secondly, who does that in the middle of the night? So when I say middle of the night, this was around 11 p.m. As most of you know, I'm a multitasker. Like, if you guys have watched my channel at all, you know that as I'm doing my videos, I'm doing homework, I am cleaning, I am cooking, I'm scheduling readings, I'm doing everything under the sun. So a lot of times I'll be doing my social hour and I'll say, just a moment, guys, and I will quick run my trash out. And then I'll come back and continue the social hour. I'm a multitasker. When you are a mother of an adult special needs child or children, period, or just an efficient woman, you multitask, right? So that's why I was over by the dumpster, because I was throwing out trash. While she was by the dumpster with those underage boys, I mean, like I said, I did not, with my own two eyes, see her having intercourse with the boys. I did not see her kissing the boys. So I cannot say that, she was having sexual relations with those little boys. But that was inappropriate. And it's just concerning if she's running a kids club and she's involved in engaging in that kind of behavior. It needs to be looked into why her child is walking around alone, unattended, running up to strangers asking, are you going to hurt me? Are you going to hurt me? So anyway, I decided to publicize this because I felt like it needed to be. This is just kind of like for my records, right? Exactly, Devoted Divine. This is what Devoted Divine wrote. Why is she so invested in children that don't belong to her? That's weird. Meaning the dumpster, meaning like why is she so invested in feeding less fortunate children, which is, at first I thought, what a noble thing to do. But then I'm like, they've got food pantries. The school that's that these children go to in the area, the zip code, they literally have a program where kids can take food home on the weekends. And they also have it to where you can come in for meals. And then there's churches nearby and all sorts of things that do that too. So there are many, many alternatives, but it is kind of strange because that woman is poverty stricken herself, And there's nothing wrong with being poverty stricken or helping people. That's not my point here. My point is it's giving Pied Piper. It's giving, what is this really all about? And then Devoted Divine wrote, oh, hell no, this couldn't be my babies. They shouldn't be going into her apartment. I agree. But again, I have her name, I've got her license plate number, and I have her house number, and I have, the proper information to make a proper report today. All right, guys. Well, try to have a good morning, but everybody just be aware, look alive, just notice what's going on around you, because this kind of stuff's happening right under everybody's nose. And again, most likely because she's a woman, most likely other people aren't taking it that serious, because as mothers, as adult women, you would think that women would want to help, not hurt. We would want to nurture, not be a predator, right? So just be aware. And if you are I'm a mother to sons. I have boys. I'm a boy mom. So that kind of opened my eyes because I'm sure that some of us are like, oh, we don't want our kids to have male teachers, or, we think it's men that are dangerous, but it just, seeing her doing that made me kind of woke me up to, hey, don't be naive. Anybody could do this kind of stuff. All right, guys, JamieZebra23.com. Ta-ta for now. Love you long time.